Hey Blue Jays, it is your friend Miss Sinky, and I'm here to show you about how to use our online databases to help you with research. Okay, I'm going to start in your apps. If your apps doesn't come up automatically, you may have a problem. But if you've already been on and you clicked it off for some reason, remember you can always go to launchpad.classlink.com/Fort Worth, spelled out FORTWORTH. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so once you're there, I want you to scroll and look for, what am I looking for? It's library. So look for library, and it's going to say library media online, and it says DAT. And if you mouse over it, you can see at the top that it says database resources, and that's what we need. Now, why, when we do research, are we going to go to here and go to these databases resources instead of going to Google or Wikipedia? Why do we go here? These sources are accurate, these sources are vetted, and these sources are up to date. So accurate means they're correct. Up to date means they're not outdated. They have the most recent information possible. And vetted means that they've been checked out. You know, like when you take your dog to a vet or your cat to a vet and the vet checks them out and just to see if they're okay. It's the same thing. People have already checked these sites out to see if they're okay. And they are. They're all accurate, good. You're not going to find any misinformation like you would on Google. So this is a great place to go. So let's start with Britannica. It says right here. Now, if you're logged in to your class links, it should show. Click here for username and password for these resources. I'm going to tell you the username and password for these resources. Oh, I'm in the wrong account. Let me switch. See, that's what happens when you're in the wrong account. Okay, so the username is ftworth, FTWORTH, and the password is FWISD. Okay, and you can, that's going to be for almost all of them, all except for EBSCO, pretty sure. Okay, let's keep going. So we're going to use Britannica School. Now we could just go to the general one, or we could tell them specifically which one we want to go to, or if we need a Spanish language one, we can do that. So let's go to middle because we're in middle school. And it should come up where it wants us to log in. Now remember, the login is ftworth and the password is, right, FWISD. Now continue because you're coming from school for school activity. Now we have explore, can you guess, images, biographies, at a glance. These are just articles they change out. Anything you save is going to be under my content. And then a did you know? And then a daily buzzword, qualify. Okay, so what I want you to do is when you have your research topic, you're going to click on search. Okay, so say I want to research Hawaii. That's kind of general, right? So it gives me some options: Hawaii state, island, Hawaiian island, Hawaiian volcano. Which one do I want? I'm going to put Hawaii state. Now, this article, there's 3 different reading levels. We're in the middle one. You can choose 1, 2, or 3. And it starts with the article and the introduction, okay? And you can go through it and see all the different things about Hawaii and the different islands and the climate and birds and animals and the people, education, culture, all sorts of stuff, economy, industry, government, history. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff. There's King Kamehameha. He's a big statue, and on Lay Day in June, they put giant lays on his arm. They're really long. It looks amazing. Annexation, when it was annexed by the United States. Pearl Harbor, because that was a big part of our history. And then additional reading at the bottom. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm going to go back up. Now, we can go back up to the top. I'm just going to make this go faster. And images and videos. If there's certain videos or images I want to see, I can click here. So we have images, and you can use these in your report. There's maps. So we could click on a map if we wanted to use this map. Mind you, this is really how it is. This just cut up the islands into little parts so you could see them. So see right here, Oahu, and if you could see really small, it says Kaneohe Bay. That's where Miss Zinke grew up. I grew up in Kaneohe, right there. Not in the bay, but close to the bay. And if you wanted to use this, remember you just right click, save image as. Hopefully it gives us, nope, it gives us a crazy one. We don't want a crazy number. We're not going to know what that is. So let's name it Hawaiian map. And I'm going to save that. It's saving in my pictures. You can see right there. Tried to point to it without my cursor. That was silly. Okay, so we got that. Now, what we also have to do is cite where we got this from, because we didn't draw this map. We didn't create it. We didn't find out. I want to cite it because you have to say where you got your information from. So we're going to go to cite. It's the one with the square and a checkbox. If you're taking notes, draw a square with a checkbox, or write square with checkbox. And at the bottom, see how it opened up right here? It has cite. Okay. Now it gives you different versions if you need to do MLA, APA, Harvard, Chicago, Manual of Style. We do MLA. So you're going to copy this, all of the information that's down there, highlight it, and then copy it. And then you need to put it into your bibliography. Now, how you do your bibliography, that's up to you. Some people use online things to do their bibliography. Some people do it in Word. I'm showing you in Word how to do it. Why does it look like my head's on fire? Okay. I'm going to open a blank document. And right now I'm just going to paste it. And I'm going to do Control C to paste it. I mean Control V, my bad. Now it gives you different ways to do it. If you do right click it, you can keep the text only, which might be good. Okay. And there we have it. Now your bibliography is supposed to be in order. So keep that in mind. But right now I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to list everything that I'm using so I know that I need to, where I got it from, so I don't lose that. Now, on Britannica, you can also watch videos and have videos included in your research. Let's see. I was like, why does it keep doing that? Because I'm leaning on the button. So here's lava flowing. That's what lava in Hawaii looks like. Okay. So if I wanted to use this, or I took some information from it that I put in my project, I'm going to have to go and click Cite again. MLA is the default. I'm going to go here and highlight it. I'm going to Control C to copy it, go back to my document, and Control V to paste it. And that's what it looks like. Okay. Now, if I use this article, the article here, if I used it in my research, which I did because I've been reading it, I've been taking notes on it, answering the questions that I have for my research project, I need to cite it as well. So again, we need to look for the box with the check mark in it. And when we mouse over it, it says cite. So I'm going to click Cite. Here it is, comes up in this little box. Again, I'm going to highlight, copy, Control C to copy, come back here, Control V to paste, and there we have it. Now, on here, you might find information that you want to go to. Maybe you're studying Hawaii and the Pacific Ocean. You could click on the Pacific Ocean here, and it would take you to an article about that as well. If it leads you to some new information, you can always click one of the links. If you need to make the font bigger, you can click here. If you need it smaller, you can click here. If you want to listen to the article, it will read it to you.
Introduction. Millions of years ago, fiery basalt rock erupted through a crack in the floor
It's
of the
slightly
Pacific
robotic,
Ocean.
but that's okay. If you need to translate it, you can use Google Translate it to turn it into whichever you would like. Is it super accurate? Not always. Google Translate isn't always accurate. If you need to print it, that's the print button. And if you want to favorite it and save it, that's how you do it. Or if you want to send it to yourself. Now remember, when you're taking notes and you're using this for your project, you have to put it in your own words. Okay, otherwise you're plagiarizing. Now, if they gave us a quote, say we went to the part about the annexing, and there's a quote from, say, King David Kalakaua, we could go in there and we could say word for word what he said. Other than that, we're not going to do word for word anything. We're not going to copy and paste this and put it onto our project. That's cheating, plagiarism, and we don't do that. So there's not really a quote here, which is okay. So there's a table of contents. You can always look up where you're going. If we need to go back up to the top, introduction, it'll take us right there. If we want to go to the survey about, and then it says each island. If we want to learn more about Oahu, we can do that. If we want to learn more about Honolulu, you can click that. So anything on here that's clickable, it will take you to a new place with information. Okay, so we could click on this picture even and use that picture. And remember to cite though. Okay, and that's how you use Britannica in your research.